Hey, this is Todd. Welcome to the Lyceum Weekly Update number 23 for the week of May 19th, 2014. Starting off with an announcement, the Lyceum are doing advertisements.
That's right, Todd, and if you advertise with us today, we'll put you on the internet.
So we're looking to advertise for bands and for events as well as other businesses, anything that could be involved in the live music scene. I'll make it very obvious which ones are ads compared to the normal stuff that we promote and want to share to people. So if you're wanting to promote your band or wanting to promote an event or a business, just get in touch with us either through the website or just email us at thelyceum.music@gmail.com. And now onto launches. On Wednesday, the 21st, there's going to be a jazz soul album launch happening at Venue 505 in Surrey Hills for $16 with Billy McCarthy. Then on Thursday, the 22nd, there'll be an indie pop EP launch at the Bald-Faced Stag in Leichhardt, and it'll be $8 with Kite. Then a jazz album launch happening at Foundry 616 in Ultimo for $16.50 with Tiny Hearts. And lastly for Thursday, an indie pop EP launch at Good God Small Club in Chinatown, Sydney for $10 with DMAs. Then on Friday the 23rd, there's going to be an indie rock alternative folk EP launch at the Bald-Faced Stag in Leichhardt for $13 with The Great Conjunction. And an alternative psychedelic pop rock EP launch at the Exchange Hotel in Darlinghurst, also known as Spectrum Bar, and that's with Violet Swells. There's also an alternative hip-hop single launch at the Imperial Hotel in Erskineville for $20 with Jolistics. And a singer-songwriter album launch at the Newtown Social Club in Newtown for $30 with Ed Kwepper, who was the co-founder of the 70s punk band The Saints. And lastly on Friday, an indie pop album launch at the Red Rattler Theatre in Marrickville with Angarad Yeo. Then on Saturday the 24th, there'll be an alternative rock single launch at the Exchange Hotel in Darlinghurst Spectrum Bar for $15 with Eucodia. And a rock album launch at the Factory Theatre in Marrickville on the factory floor for $15 with Infinity Broke. There is also an electronica indie pop EP launch at the King's Cross Hotel in King's Cross. It's $10 with Spartak. And lastly on Saturday, an electronica indie dance EP launch at the Valve Bar in Sydney with Mobius. Now into special gigs. On Thursday the 22nd, there's going to be a Star Wars themed party, and it's also going to be the final gig for a band with a bunch of pop rock and soul at the Exchange Hotel in Darlinghurst Spectrum Bar, and it'll be the final gig for the band For Our Hero. Be sure to take care of the party, because at the last Star Wars themed party, I believe 3 people lost their hand and a Wookiee was raped. It's just a public service announcement. And you never want to go to a club to hook up only to realise that they turn out to be your father and or sister. Also on Thursday, there'll be a $30 fundraiser happening at the news agency in Marrickville. The owner of the news agency, Alison, her mum has an aggressive brain tumour, so the fundraiser is to raise funds to help her keep travelling back and forth from Adelaide and to help pay for rent and keep the news agency up and running. And the gig will be put on with a bunch of folk, pop and jazz bands. Then on Saturday the 24th, there's going to be a metal festival called Rocket, Kill It, Fuck It. It's happening at the Bald-Faced Stag in Leichhardt from 4 PM all the way through the night, and it's $20. Also on Saturday, there's going to be a punk rock gig that's also a book launch for Electric Spaghetti by Drew Gates. It's happening at the Valve Bar for $10. Then on Sunday, there's going to be a music video launch for a single from an ambient genre band. That's happening at the Camelot Lounge in Marrickville for $33 with David Bridie. And finally on Sunday, there's going to be another metal festival, this time happening at Frankie's Pizza by the Slice in Sydney. It's called Frankie's Slatanic Swillfest, and that is $28. Now into news. There are only 2 news articles that came out this week, and they're both about the budget. Yay! So it's one good and one bad news article, pretty much. Starting off with the good, the Audit Commission had suggested that the funding for community radio be slashed and scrapped, and the federal government decided to go against it, and in the budget, community radio had full funding. It's difficult to tell how much of it is based on the Commit to Community Radio that was sending emails to Joe Hockey and a bunch of other ministers, or whether it was always their plan to not listen to the Audit Commission, because they didn't listen to everything that the Audit Commission told them to do. But either way, community radio still gets to keep up and be maintained, and ones that moved into digital radio can continue to maintain those radio stations and never stop. And now on to the bad news, which was part of the arts department and their funding getting cut as part of the federal budget. Something that's been bugging me is every time I see an article about the funding being cut for the arts, they always use a cover photo of a bunch of ballerinas, but the Australian Ballet School got their funding put up by $1 million. That's like saying poor people take another hit and then showing a cover photo of Gina Reinhardt. Although I don't think Gina Reinhardt would look quite as graceful in a tutu. Oh god. It's in my head! So the federal budget did take cuts to the Australia Council as well as the Screen Music Australia, which handle a lot of the funding and scholarships for the arts areas. This can all affect the amount of money that scholarships can give as well as the amount of opportunities that are given to the musicians to be able to get that kind of grant. The Australia Council is usually responsible for funding and scholarships, and they also give money to indie record labels to help produce better quality content if they've been doing really well in the previous year. And the money scholarships that they give to musicians usually help them to create either an album or to help them tour internationally. So the grants and the scholarships won't be disappearing, but there could be a significant drop in the amount of money that you can get from them or the amount of opportunities that you get. And then finally, Band of the Week this week goes to Mere Women. They're like a alternative pop, goth, electro kind of band, really cool sounds. They just released a music video for their new single, which you can check out there. And they're also going to be having an album coming out on July 25th that I'm really looking forward to. So if you want to see what they sound like, either check out their music video or I'll have a clip of them playing at the end of this video. And that is it for this week. Make sure you go onto the website because the gig guide will be up now so you can see everything that's happening this week. You can also hear a song from every single band having a launch this week by checking out our playlist. You can check out the playlist on our website or just go to mixcloud.com/the Lyceum. And as a reminder, if you're a band or you're organising an event or you're just a business and you're wanting to advertise and promote, then send an email to thelyceum.music@gmail.com and get in touch with us and advertise with us. I'll be back next Monday with another roundup of all the upcoming launches and all the news from the previous week. Until then, be good.